Hello everyone. This meeting is regarding sprint retro review for SugarLearning 164 and sprint forecast for 165. The goal was to resolve the source map issue that arises in the last deployment when we were doing for the staging, and we were using the legacy API endpoint, and now it has been integrated with the latest one for the Raygun, and the goal has been achieved. The duration of the sprint was 1 week, and attendees are as listed. The total billable hours for this project is 41. As I was talking before, previously we were using a legacy API endpoint to upload the source map, and now we have integrated with the V3 version, and that is populating it accurately. And now we are also using the same resource for the China production and the global production for uploading the source map, and I will show you on the Raygun side. This is the source map collector on the Raygun side, and we can see we have this mysugarlearning.com. That source map are coming from the global SugarLearning. And if I go to the page 3, so now you can see the URL is coming from China. So we are collecting all the source map, and Raygun is monitoring the front-end issues for both China production and global production. For this. The second one was to actually integrating the China one with the current Raygun instance for the production, which has been resolved by resolving this the source map issue. And we conducted the regular monitoring, and while doing that, we created one PBI and Toast UI editor, where we are migrating the UI editor to the latest version, and we are currently using a deprecated version. So that is still in progress.
Can I just ask, sorry, can we go back up to those?
Yes.
For that third PBI, monitor
Yes.
and log operational faults, what does 164 mean at the end?
164 is the sprint current sprint number. So it means we have conducted monitoring for sprint 164.
These PBIs provide a couple of purposes. First is in terms of capacity planning. It allows us to carve out a certain amount of time for it. Secondly, it also allows us to record what PBIs were raised during certain sprints.
Right, okay. So this was raised during sprint 164, was it?
This was the monitoring task for 164, and PBIs that were found during the course of it should be linked to that PBI.
Okay.
Moving on to the sprint burn down, we have completed 61%, and remaining effort is 8 for this sprint. The total line coverage was 25%, which remains the same. As we have one deployment to the West US production and one deployment to the China production of SugarLearning. As I mentioned before, we find one bug where 4.9 and status code came up because of Angular was failing, timing out for some reason, and to address that issue, we have created the PBI already in the backlog. And the other spikes we are seeing over here.
Just to clarify what we're seeing, the 499s, that's for SugarLearning China, correct?
Yes. 499.
Okay, so 499s, they're user cancels. We're seeing a persistent pattern of accesses on SugarLearning China. That is the PBI that Azair is referring to is one to investigate in future what the cause of that of those consistent requests is.
So you're getting a 499 status code just appearing quite a lot from China, but we have no idea why yet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. When did they start?
A couple of weeks
ago. I noticed this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So the failed request has been decreased from 1.6K over 2 weeks period of time to 533 over a 1 week period of time.
Wow, that's a big reduction.
Keep in
But
mind
like
that it's a
2 week
duplicate.
period.
Yeah, it's twice the period per previously, but it's still averaging out 800 per week down to 500 odd.
Yeah.
Do we know why it's been reduced?
Go down to the next dashboard, Oz.
Yeah. So we have reduced authenticated users number has been reduced, so that's why.
Total unique users have decreased
Decreased from
from
115 to over 2 week period of time to 93, and similarly 82 over 2 week period of time to 76 over
But
1 week.
Oz, did we also not have last sprint a issue with the database querying that we resolved?
Yes. Also, we resolved a SQL timeout issue with the query, so that also has reduced the number of errors. Yep.
I'd say that was
Okay.
the primary cause of the reduced error count.
Yeah.
Yes.
When this says number of authenticated users, is this just the number of unique sessions, or is this like how are we measuring that number?
That number is being measured by actual associated accounts with accesses.
So have we just lost 6 users in China somehow since last sprint?
These figures are for the global system. And it's
Uh,
more likely the case that we just had 6 users that have not accessed the system over the course of the period.
Right.
We
Okay.
get these sort of fluctuations with people being on leave, etc.
Okay. Sorry, I just have to ask a dumb question, but the only users of SSW of SugarLearning in China is SSW China, right?
no. There are actually only SSW China also uses SugarLearning Global. They don't use China yet.
So who uses it?
We have only one user. That was me.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Cool. So that that
Currently
82 to
it
76
is
is just sugarlearning.com, not
yes,
sugarlearning.cn, right?
yes,
Ah,
exactly.
right, right,
So
right,
that's
right.
the
Okay.
dashboard for China, and we can see it been decreased from 5 to 1 over 1 week period of time. But the number we are looking over here is only me. No one else is using in China or anywhere else is using China
So
sugar
just
learning.
dumb question, why are we changing the period of measurement in these comparisons where we're going X over 2 weeks to Y over 1 week?
Because the sprints are inconsistently timed.
Oh, you're measuring these to the sprint length, are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, that's a pain in the ass. Okay, fair enough.
Not normally an issue, but last sprint we had just a number of things come up and we just ended up continuing. Yeah, we expanded it to 2 weeks.
Yeah, all right.
A state of epics, EF core, we have done no work for EF core migration. So
That's
for the
the epic, is
context,
it?
yes, for the context, we are actually doing the migration for EF6 to EF core.
Okay. Um, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the reason we made no progress on this was because the ray
We,
gun error took priority. So we just dedicated the
yes,
sprint to fixing that, and then we're going to go
that is
back
correct.
onto track. Is that right?
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, that is correct.
No, that is not correct.
Okay.
So the thing is, the priority right now, and you'll see it in the forecast, is to improve the user editing experience. And that is a 1 PBI item, which is to upgrade the Toast UI editor. That's the WYSIWYG editor for editing the content. Because it's a single PBI, it doesn't turn up in the epics.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Did we do any experimental work? This is the one that Nick was talking about, that we are doing the migration for Toast UI.
Yeah, which
editor.
has nothing to do with the epics that are listed above. So what we've just had instruction from the product owner to pause on the migration stuff to focus on some UX improvements. Yep.
Yes.
Correct.
Cool. All right. All right. All right. Yes, from both people. Good. Nice.
Right. So what went well, Reagan source map is back. It's up and running. And what didn't go so well, and we didn't find anything bad in this sprint and no improvements. Happy with that, guys?
I would add one thing on what didn't go so well. I would say changing the unit of measurements between sprints means that it's a lot more difficult to try and parse those numbers as we're looking at them. But that's like a one-off thing.
Changing the
Unit,
unit of
the unit of time.
Durations.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Duration. The temporal span.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Yep. All right. If everyone is happy, I will move to the forecast now.
Yep.
All right. The forecast, the sprint goal for the forecast is keep working on the Toast UI editor, migrating from the deprecated version to the latest one. And as I will be monitoring I will be performing the regular monitoring, and that's all.
Okay. Are you the only dev on this team,
At the
Jose?
moment, yes. Yes.
You poor bastard. Okay, so yeah. So 3 days worth of PBIs, that sounds about right. Was it 3 points? Yeah,
And
that looks
also,
okay.
I've been going on a client work for 1 day as well in doing this sprint.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, that makes sense. You've messed your attendees up. You need to add Landon and me on there.
Sorry, I'll do it now. You guys happy with that?
Yeah, so I am going to risk just derailing this slightly. When Adam just asked me if I could jump in here quickly, he said that he really wants to focus on getting a nice onboarding experience to SugarLearning because he wants to, like he's saying, imagine people trying it out at a conference, right? Is this brand new information to the SugarLearning team, or is this something that's been spoken about previously?
This has been something that was spoken about 9 months ago.
Okay. So with that being said, the sprint goal is not obviously related to the onboarding experience right now. This is sort of updating the WYSIWYG editor, which definitely important, right? I guess where I'm going with this is who decided that this was the sprint goal? Is this something that
Me.
Adam handed to you? Did?
Yes.
Okay.
As product owner.
Oh, you're PO. Oh,
Yes.
dude, I'll just get back in my lane then in that case. But it sounds like you got a stakeholder who probably has some big dreams of putting this up on a screen on a conference and having people start to use it. So given it's been spoken about 9 months ago and you are very good at what you do, Nick, I'm going to assume that you've got a bunch of PBIs relating to the onboarding experience. Is that correct?
Yes, we have PBIs for it because,
Okay.
yeah, I was the last tester for it and I found a ton of issues and we slowly
Okay.
worked through them.
Okay. So we've already done sprint planning here in forecast. So rather than throw this out the window and start again, is this something that we can sort of pencil in for next sprint goal? It sounds like this one is a pretty much a one and done sprint where we update this toast thing to the latest package and it's done, right? Sprint goal achieved.
Yep. Can we discuss this after the conclusion of the recorded summary?
Sure. I thought it would be worth putting it on the recording because Adam said that this is where his focus was. So I thought you'd want it on the video, but we can do it afterwards.
Yep, definitely afterwards, please.
Sure.
Oz, can you please
Uh,
finish this? Finish up the
thank.
recording.
All right. The summary will be uploaded on this channel. See you next time, guys.